Good morning. We are going to begin with session first of block first, paper 10 of MA final. This paper is about Indian writing in English. First of all, we are going to discuss the historical overview of English language, its entry in India, and its entry into the school and university curriculum, the levels at which it was introduced, and also the standard of language and literature that we use in our school and university curriculum. So, let me first begin with the entry of English, a historical overview. The English was introduced in India as a part of the British policy to have cheap clerks and to spread their religion. In the beginning, British India Company imparted English education only to the children of European employees of the East India Company and to a very small percentage of Anglo Indians in the country. Hence, it was an extremely marginalized language used only by the Britishers. So, in the beginning, English as a language did not have a very high status and popularity in India. The status of marginalized language remained for an extremely long time, with the British learning the native languages for the purpose of administration, business, and communication. By the end of the 18th century, the East India Company brought the whole Indian subcontinent under the command and decided to civilize the nation, civilize the natives, because these Western masters, they felt that only they are civilized, only their language has the potential to teach the masses, and the language and literature of the natives hold no ground. By the end of the 18th century, the East India Company, as stated by Lord Macaulay in one of his later speeches, he said, to trade with civilized men is infinitely more profitable than to govern savages. Charles Grant, director of East India Company, during his stay in India from 1767 to 1790, with a break, however, during 1773 to 1771 to 1773, recommended number one, the introduction of English as the medium of instruction in a Western system of education that included literature, natural sciences, mechanical inventions, etc., to remove the superstitious beliefs prevalent among the heathens of India. Second, the adoption of English as the official language of the company and the government for easy communication between the rulers and the ruled. Because even the Britishers found it very difficult to learn the native languages to communicate with the rulers of the princely states as well as for the company's affairs with the masses. It was Grant's recommendation that it is believed to have laid the foundation of the English education in India. Hence, he is often called the father of modern education in India. He, along with Wilberforce, was instrumental in bringing about the change in the Indian education system. Let's now have a look at how English made a way in India. Was it forcibly coerced upon Indians, or was it the choice of the natives, seeing the benefits of the language? However, it has always been a debatable question, and no definite answer can be assigned to it. Perhaps it was both. The colonizers also were interested in the perpetuation of their empire through the use of language. As Macaulay said, that these people will be white in skin, black in skin, but white in the mind. They will think like Britishers, they will acquire the manners of Britishers, and they will be the useful servants of the British Empire. Macaulay, Raja Ram Mohan Rai, and Charles Trevelyan are considered to be the first innovators who thought that introduction of English language and English as a system of education would be beneficial both to Indians as well as the Westerners. Macaulay's ideas to produce a class of persons who would be Indian in blood and color, but English in taste, in opinion, in morals, and in intellect, took a clear picture in 1835 when he presented his minute on 2nd of February 1835 in the Manifesto of English Education in India. This minute is often quoted as the real beginning of bilingualism in India. Raja Ram Mohan Roy's demand for Western education was turned into a demand for English as a language of education. His famous letter to Lord Amherst, is often quoted that how logically and forcefully he demanded the introduction of English as a language as well as the medium of instructions. And not only this, he requested even for the teachers who are competent in this language as a medium as well as the teachers in other subjects like medicine, technology, science, logic, all these things who can teach the Indian masses and make them competent to be abreast with the rest of the world. As he has written, that even if the natives are considered only as the slaves, then also the educated slaves would be better and easier to be ruled by the white masters. Trevelyan was especially zealous in the cause of education, and in 1835, largely owing to his persistence, government was led to decide in favor of the promulgation of European literature and science among the Indians. An account of the efforts of government entitled On the Education of the People of India was published by Trevelyan in 1838. McCulleys' controversial minute was given the seal of approval by Lord William Bentinck in 1935, the then Viceroy of the British Empire in India. However, in spite of facing strong protests by the Orientalists, he persisted on his opinion on the pretext that Indians wanted English education, quoting the examples of Sir Edward Hyde, the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court in Calcutta, receiving a petition by Indians deploring the nation deficiency in morals and demanding a college that would provide them with English and English system of morals. This resolution formed the cornerstone of the implementation of a language policy in India, and ultimately it resulted in the diffusion of bilingualism in English. However, after gaining independence, there were strong protests, reactions, demands that why should English continue after the English have gone? So let's have an overview of the post independence scenario of English and the debates that ensued. After independence, drastic changes came regarding the place of English in India. Since it was a language of the rulers who had exercised cruelties over Indians, the first reaction was to dethrone English from its exalted position. If the rulers have gone, the queen has still remained. Now, not English people, not English men, but English language will be ruling India. These were the dialogues going on. There were heated debates over the issue. Dr. Ram Manohar Lohia, the famous leader in the parliament, argued that the use of English is a hindrance to original thinking, progenitor of inferiority feelings, and a gap between the educated and uneducated public. Come, let us unite to restore Hindi to its original glory. As a consequence of such debates, first, Hindi in Devanagari script was declared the official language of the Union by Indian Constitution. In order to give Hindi sufficient time to replace English as an official language, English was declared to continue as an associate language for a period of 15 years, that is till 1965. Second, English did not remain the medium of instruction. Third, regional languages became the medium of instruction and examination. Fourth, English ceased to be a compulsory subject, both at school as well as the university level. Fifth, the state governments started using regional languages in administration, and this was the demand which had been pending for a long time, right from the time of the princely states. It is obvious that English did not have the same place after independence which it had in days before independence. The open votaries of English, the open advocates of English were now, they did not have courage to openly say that English is indispensable in India. The declaration of Hindi as an official language, however, provoked severe agitation in South Indian states, and therefore the parliament had to pass an act in 1963 for making English as associate official language for an infinite period. The southern states were strongly against the imposition of Hindi upon them. Tamil Nadu was the first to strongly react against it, and even certain political parties threatened to dissociate from Indian Union if Hindi was imposed upon them. In those days, there could be seen in Tamil Nadu that wherever Hindi was written, on the railway station, on the bank, or anywhere, just as a name, it was painted over with black. Such were the reactions against Hindi. Then let's have a look how English as a medium of study and literature were introduced after that. Various commissions and conferences set and held in India from time to time have also emphasized the importance of English. Long ago, in 1914, University Commission observed English, however, must continue to be studied. It is a language which is rich in literature, humanistic, scientific, and technical. If under sentimental urges we should give up English, we should cut ourselves off from the living stream of overgrowing knowledge. This was the recommendation of University Commission, and it was a very powerful observation and relevant observation in those days. The Secondary Education Commission 1952-53 sheds light on the importance of English in this way. It stated, our youth should acquire knowledge from all sources and contribute their share to its expansion and development. In the attainment of this objective, study of English is bound to play an important part. The Chief Ministers Conference 1961 concluded English should be taught along with Hindi in order to get outside affairs for all India services for engineering, medical, and forest departments. The Indian Education Commission of 1966 also recognized the importance of English in this statement. The Commission stated English should be the most useful library language in higher education and our most significant window on the world. In the conference of vice chancellors in New Delhi in 1969, Sri V.K.R.V. Rao, the then Education Minister of India, expressed his opinion saying, far from abolishing English, university students will in future have to acquire an adequate command over English to read and understand English books in their chosen subjects and use English as their library language. Keeping in view of the importance of English, a deserving place has been assigned to this language in our school as well as university curriculum. The three language formula can be applied in order to have English at a suitable place in school curriculum. It should be noted that at the lower secondary stage, English should cease to be taught as literature because during this stage, study of English as literature has given unhappy results. For this, we can take H. Kabir's suggestion. He has mentioned we must remodel our courses in English at the secondary stage and recognize that the learning of English is not an end in itself, but only the acquisition of an instrument for adding to our. The emphasis must therefore shift from literature to the simple language of everyday. At university stage, its study should aim at literature. Let's now discuss the context of the earliest Indian English writings. Kavali Venkat Boraiya's account of the Jains, published in Asiatic Researches of Transactions of the Society instituted in Bengal for the inquiring into the history of antiquities, the art, sciences, and literature of Asia, volume 9, published in London in 1809, written in 1803, is perhaps the first published composition in English of some length by an Indian. It has been described in the essay itself as collected from a priest of this sect at Mugeri and translated by C. Boraya. We can see that this, as the writer himself has mentioned, was not his original work. It was a translation, it was an adaptation of Jain work in Sanskrit. Next important name that comes is Again, that of Raja Ram Mohan Roy's essay on a defense of Hindu theism written in 1817. It may be regarded as the first original publication of significance in the history of Indian English literature. Krishna Mohan Banerjee, 1813 to 1835, a pupil of Henry Desrosiers, the poet, and one of the prominent Christian converts of the day, wrote exposing strong articles exposing the errors and inconsistencies of Hinduism in the Inquirer in 1831. His dialogues on Hindu philosophy, published in 1861, is a potted handbook for missionaries, and his Aryan Witness 1875 seeks to prove that the Prajapati of the Vedas is Jesus Christ. Another pupil of Desrosiers, Ram Gopal Ghosh, 1815 to 1868, was actively associated with many literary, cultural, and political organizations in Calcutta. He published his pamphlet Remarks on the Black Acts, 1851, in defense of the so called Black Acts of 1849, which abolished some of the privileges of Europeans in India, caused a furor in that community. Harish Chandra Mukherjee, Rajendra Lal Mitra, Girish Chandra Ghosh are among the earliest Bengali writers who attempted to write in English. Bal Shastri Jambekar, 1812 to 1846, from Bombay Presidency, is also among these writers. So we can see that during the Renaissance in Bengal, Bengali writers who were already famous writers in Bengali attempted to write, and not only attempted, succeed to produce important works in English also. Thank you.